was a normal Monday morning at Crestwood High. Or at least that's what everyone thought. The sun hung lazily above the gray school building. Students rushed through the hallways, laughter and gossip echoing off the lockers. But among all that noise, there was one girl who walked quietly, like a soft breeze that went unnoticed. Emily Carter. Emily wasn't new to the school, but she always seemed invisible. She sat in the back row, never raised her hand, never joined in group chatter, and never seemed to react when people whispered things behind her back. She was the kind of student others barely remembered, until something dramatic happened. Her clothes were simple, worn-out jeans, an oversized hoodie, and sneakers that had seen better days. Her hair often hid half her face, and her voice was so soft that even when she answered roll call, the teacher had to ask her to repeat herself. But what nobody knew, what no one could imagine, was that Emily wasn't ordinary. Behind those quiet eyes was a secret, a story, a past that could change how everyone saw her. To that morning, 3 of the most popular kids in school, Jason, Liam, and Samantha, decided they'd found their next entertainment. Jason, tall with a fake charm that made teachers think he was innocent, smirked as he whispered to his friends, "Watch this. The quiet girl doesn't even look up when we talk. I bet she won't even flinch." Samantha giggled, brushing her long blonde hair. "Oh please, she's scared of her own shadow. Let's see if she even talks." Liam laughed too, a loud, fake laugh, and together, they hatched their plan. It started in the middle of English class. Mrs. Peterson was teaching poetry, her voice calm and steady, reading lines about courage and fear. Emily was taking notes quietly when Jason tossed a crumpled paper ball at her desk. She ignored it. Then another one came and another. Finally, one hit her shoulder. She looked up. Jason grinned. "Hey, Emily, you ever talk or are you mute?" The class chuckled. Mrs. Peterson didn't notice she was writing on the board. Emily's lips moved slightly. "Please stop." Jason smirked. "Ow, she speaks. What was that?" "Say it louder, little mouse." Liam joined in, mocking her voice. Samantha whispered something cruel, and laughter spread like wildfire. Emily's face turned red, but she said nothing. She simply lowered her eyes and tried to focus on her notes. But Jason wasn't satisfied. He wanted a reaction. He wanted to feel powerful. So, when class ended and everyone began to leave, he nodded to Liam and Samantha. "Let's make her talk," he said. Tuku outside in the hallway. The bullies cornered Emily near her locker. The hallway was half empty. Most students had gone to lunch. Jason slammed his hand against the locker beside her head, leaning close. "What's your problem, huh? You think you're better than us because you don't talk?" Emily shook her head silently. "Noob. Then why do you always act like we don't exist?" Samantha added, crossing her arms. "I just don't like trouble," Emily whispered. Liam snorted. "Trouble? Sweetheart, this is trouble." The Jason suddenly grabbed her backpack and yanked it off her shoulder. Books fell to the floor, scattering across the hallway. "Oops," he smirked. "You should be more careful." Emily bent down to pick them up, but Jason kicked one of the books away. Her hands froze midair. Her breathing changed, slower, deeper. There was a flicker in her eyes. For the first time, she looked up, directly at him. There was something in her gaze that made even Jason hesitate for half a second. A cold, controlled calmness. But his ego wouldn't let him back down. "What, you gonna cry?" he taunted. Emily stood up slowly, holding her last book close to her chest. "You should stop," she said quietly. Jason laughed. "Or what?" She didn't answer. She just stared at him, expressionless. That silence unnerved him more than any shout could have. When she walked away, they followed. Out the back door of the school, near the empty sports field, the bullies kept mocking her. Jason shouted, "Hey, we're not done talking to you." He grabbed her wrist. And that's when everything changed. In a blur faster than anyone could react, Emily twisted her wrist free, grabbed Jason's arm, and flipped him over her shoulder. He landed flat on his back with a thud that echoed through the field. Liam's eyes widened. "What the?" Before he could finish, Emily stepped back, calm as ever. Jason groaned in pain, clutching his shoulder. "You should never touch someone without permission," she said softly. Samantha screamed.
"She's crazy! She attacked him!"
But deep down, all 3 knew it wasn't an attack, it was defense, precision, control. Liam, humiliated, rushed forward with anger. Emily sidestepped, caught his arm, and swept his legs out from under him. He landed beside Jason, stunned. "Stay down," Emily warned, her voice firm now. Not loud, not emotional, just powerful. The kind of power that didn't need to shout. Samantha backed away, trembling. You're some kind of freak. Emily looked at her, eyes steady. No, I just don't like being bullied. Then she turned and walked away, her footsteps echoing on the empty field. For the first time, Jason and his friends didn't have a single word to say. But that wasn't the end. The next day, rumors spread like wildfire. Did you hear? The quiet girl beat up Jason.
She's some kind of martial arts master. No way, she just got lucky.
Everyone had their own version. Emily sat at her desk quietly as always, pretending not to hear. But this time, the whispers weren't mocking. They were curious, respectful, even fearful. During lunch, a few students approached her. One of them, Mia, smiled shyly. Hey, I saw what happened yesterday. You were amazing. Emily shook her head. It wasn't amazing. I just protected myself. Still, Mia said, you stood up to them. Nobody's ever done that before. For the first time in months, Emily smiled. A small, real smile. Maybe things were changing, too, but Jason wasn't done. His pride was shattered, and for bullies like him, pride meant everything. That night, he texted Liam and Samantha, "Chore tomorrow. We'll make her pay. No one embarrasses me like that." He didn't know what he was walking into. Because Emily's story, her strength, didn't come from anger. It came from something deeper. A past filled with struggle, discipline, and a lesson that she learned the hard way: never underestimate the quiet ones. As the sun set over Crestwood High, Emily packed her books and walked home through the old streets. Her father was waiting for her, a retired soldier, now a martial arts instructor. How was school? He asked with a calm smile. Emily hesitated. Eventful. He nodded knowingly. Did you remember the rule? She smiled faintly. Only use it when there's no other choice. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Good. The world doesn't need more fighters. It needs more people who know when not to fight. Emily nodded, but she also knew something was coming. She could feel it. The bullies wouldn't stop. Not yet. Knew that night, Jason and his friends planned their revenge. They wanted to humiliate her, film it, and post it online. They didn't realize that this time, they weren't just picking on a quiet girl. They were picking a battle with someone who had been trained her whole life to stand tall against fear. As Emily stood by her window, looking at the stars, her reflection stared back, calm, steady, ready. She whispered to herself, they'll come again. And this time, I won't hold back. The next day was coming fast, and so was justice.